Okay, now our last learning target for this unit will be 3G. Given an inequality in any form, students will be able to convert to slope-intercept form, identify slope and intercept and graph, and shade the line with a 100% accuracy. Now if you look at 3F, they're almost identical. The only thing that changes here is that instead of equation we have an inequality, and instead of just graphing, we're going to graph and shade. So it's just like the last one, we're adding one last thing to the end, shading. Now here's we've got dotted lines and solid lines. So instead of equal signs, we're going to have less than or equal to, greater than, or greater than or equal to. Now I created this chart. This should be on your paper somewhere. Somewhere on your paper, write this down. If I have this one greater than, I'm going to have a dotted line and I'm going to shade up. If I have this one, I'm going to have a solid line, I'm going to shade down. So a little bit of review before we get to it. We've got 3x minus 5. I want this in slope-intercept form. So again, in the end, I should end up with y equals mx plus b at the very end. Okay, so I'm going to minus this 3x over here, minus 3x, minus 3x. I'm going to rewrite it so that the x comes first. So this goes away. Positive 5y equals negative 3x minus 5. Okay, and we're going to divide by 5 here. Divide everything by 5, not just what is convenient, what works. Our final equation should be y equals m, negative 3 over 5, x, and then plus b, 5 divided by 5 is 1, negative divided by positive is a negative. Next student question, same thing. Again, in the end, when I'm done with this equation, I should have at the very, very bottom y equals mx plus b. I'll make sure it matches. Minus 6x minus 6x. Note they don't line up because they're not the same. These cancel. 5y equals negative 6x plus 20. Again, when I switched these places, I kept the signs together. Negative with a 6, positive with a 20. Divide by 5. Divide everything by 5, not just the 20 because it works. Y equals negative 6 over 5. X plus 4. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Our slope is our m value. It seems to line up with our m value. Our 4 is our b value, which lines up with our 4. Okay, now the only difference here is this. We have this sign. That's the only thing that's new. Okay, but we're going to treat this exactly like we normally would. We're going to split our equation in half. Oh, no, actually we don't need to do that because it's already y equals mx plus b. Let's just identify these a little better. Y is less than negative 2x minus 4, so negative 2 here, and then minus 4 here. This is 2 over 1, down to plus 1. It's positive. Positive this way, positive this way, negative this way, negative this way. Again, this is our, very important, our starting point. Starting point. And that matches our blue line that's right here. Okay? So I need to start on this line at negative 4. Now it says down 2 and then plus 1. So I'm going to go down 2, 1, 2, and then plus 1. Just like here, it says down 2 plus 1. And I'm done. I have a line now. Now remember, this sign right here says less than. So let me go back a little bit. The less than sign, this one, means I have a dotted line and I shade down. Okay? So here I'm going to make sure that my line is dotted. Dotted. So I have a dotted line. And I'm going to shade down on this line. This line I'm going to shade below. Now, how do you figure out which one is above and which one is below? It's actually easier than it looks. I'm going to pick any point on the line. Let's say I pick this point and go down. Oh, so I'm going to shade this part of the line, everything below. So pick a point on the line and just go up or go down depending on if you're shading up or you're shading down. Ta-da, we're done. Okay. Okay, students do same thing. Starting point of our line should be on this y-axis. Okay, should be on this y-axis. Let's clarify this line a little bit. Solid. Okay, so let's rewrite this as y greater than negative 1/4, negative 1/4 x plus 4. So again, starting point y-intercept on this line 1, 2, 3, 4, and with a negative 1/4, what's really important is this negative sign. This negative sign can go to either the 1 or it can go to the 4, or not both, one or the other. I'm going to put on the 1. I like to do the rise values first. Down 1 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting point, move my slope, there we go. Here's my line, again, dotted line or shaded line. So again, dotted line or solid line, so I know that this one is a greater than, so this one should be a greater than this one. Is that right? Yes, greater than, greater than. Okay, so that means dotted line, shade up. Okay, so I'm going to make my line, again, I'm going to make it dotted from here to there, and I'm going to shade up. So pick a point, I don't know, here looks good, I'm going to go up. There you go, shade this part, this half, the top portion. Okay, done. Okay, now if they are not in slope-intercept form, very, very important that we make them in slope-intercept form. Okay, they have to be in the right form before we shade up or down, before we make a solid or dotted line. Okay, so like we did in our do now, we need to make sure that this is y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b. So start moving things around. I want this y to stay put so it gets all the way to the bottom. I'll get rid of this 3x. Okay, these cancel out, make it 0. I'll bring down this negative 4y is greater than or equal to, I'm going to put the x first, negative 3x minus 12. And we're, again, now we're almost done. This y only has this 4 to get rid of. So let's divide by negative 4. Negative 4 make a positive 1. And I'm going to divide everything here by negative 4 also. Now, a little reminder, and it is in the tip section of your notes. If I divide by a negative, my sign should switch. So instead of greater than or equal to, it should be less than or equal to. Should switch directions. Now, the 4's cancel, the negatives cancel. Y all by itself, it seems to match. Negative divided by negative is a positive 3 over positive 4x. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Negative divided by negative is a positive. Okay, again, my b value is my starting point, and that should be on my line. So my b value should be here, which is positive 3. 1, 2, 3. My slope says plus 3, plus 4. Rise, overrun. 1, 2, 3, and then positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, positive direction, negative direction, negative direction. Okay. Let's look at our symbol. We've got a less than or equal to. So let's move this to less than or equal to. Solid line, shade down. So this one, I'm going to make a solid line and shade down. So let's change colors just for the sake of it. Solid line. Okay, solid line. Let's move this so it matches a little better. That looks better. And we're going to pick any point on the line, whichever point we'd like. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's on the line, that looks good. And I'm going to shade down. Shade below the line. Okay. Students do. One last time, we're going to make sure that we have y equals mx plus b. We want everything in that form because it gives us the most useful information. So this one should be y equals mx plus b. That means this y seems to stay still. The x goes to the other side. So let's do that first. Minus 2x minus 2x. 2x minus 2x is 0. Negative 5y equals negative 2x plus 5. Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. Divide by negative 5. If I do it to one side, I do it to the entire side, not just the parts I want to. Again, this cancels out to a 1. Y equals negative divided by negative is a positive 2 over 5x. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and it's a positive. So we got a positive 1. Again, that positive 1, our y-intercept, is our starting point. So this positive 1 is our starting point. Positive 1. And our slope is up to positive 5. Up to 1, 2. Positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now let's look at our sign. I kind of screwed that up the whole way down, but we'll fix it. Now get rid of this one. Okay, so it should be so far less than or equal to, less than or equal to. I divided by a negative, so I got to switch it. Greater than or equal to. Okay, so let's see what we got. Greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Shade up, solid line. So solid line, shade up. So let's pick a different color. That looks good. Solid line, not dotted, and shade it up. Okay, should pick a point anywhere you want. That looks good. Go up. Cool. This is what I'm shading. Everything above the line. Okay, so now that we're done, go ahead and start working on the back of your paper. There are 10 problems back there. If you get stuck, move on, and we'll go back to those a little bit later. So before we get into our stations, I want you guys to finish all the practice on the back. So everybody is going to start with the work on the back, okay? There's practice on the back, okay? So these are the ones you should be working on. Flip your paper over. 10 problems first. Once you're done with that and everything is good, we'll do a little practice as a group. If you have any questions, that's the time to ask. Vocabulary. Today is the last day. It should be done. Your Quizlets, done. Everything done. Starting Thursday, Friday, we're going to start working on some benchmark review questions, some things a little more practice relevant. Independent station, your Rev Prep, you got to have your notebooks out. Notebooks not out, you're doing it wrong. Every single time, notebooks out is the first thing you need to do. Make sure you're writing these things down. Make sure you're writing down the entire question. Finish this first. Flip it over, finish this first. Turn off the music.